Yo, welcome everybody back to the JV Sports Room. As usual, your host, JDino, the other half of the team behind the scenes, my man Vince.
Yeah.
My man has sat in every other spot in here, in the right wing, the starting center spot. So we're going to move him on over to the Kobe corner. We're going to go ahead and certify my man Joey. Welcome back to the show.
What's up, bro?
Appreciate you holding down that Kobe corner.
No doubt.
JM3 Productions, in case you guys forgot. Well, we're going to certify you in the Kobe corner. Obviously, you've talked enough basketball with us, so we don't actually have to give you any real certification, but we do need a MAMBA memory if you're going to sit over there, brother.
Favorite MAMBA memory is TMAC versus Kobe. There was a specific sequence of plays that happened. TMAC came down. He shook Kobe with a half spin and got a jump shot. It was pretty. Very next play, Kobe gets down, blows past TMAC, dunks on 2 hands, slap the backboard. I mean, that way Kobe was like, yeah, you got me, but watch this. You know what I mean? Kobe was a different animal.
He was, man.
He was that.
Granted, the Magic had nobody on their team at that time.
That time.
But it doesn't matter.
T-Mac was it, but he just wanted to let T-Mac know that, yeah, okay, I got this too as well.
Yeah, I remember that. They had some classic battles, man. I mean, to be honest with you, for a while, they were the two best in the league, you ask me. I mean, for a while when T-Mac was on the Magic, he averaged over 30 points a game that one season, right?
Yeah, he did, yeah.
I mean, any other memories about T-Mac or Kobe against T-Mac or Kobe against the Magic that you might want to touch back on?
It's the classic T-Mac and Kobe scoring battles where they would one-up each other at the next game, trying to win the scoring title.
I agree. I remember that. That was a great year, man. Yeah. They were going back and forth. Oh, man. The memories, man. Great MAMBA memory. Appreciate it, brother. But the Magic could use a T-Mac nowadays. I mean, because he always had them consistently in the playoffs, right? Yeah. I mean, how you feel about the Magic's chances of maybe making the playoffs this year? I know you're a faithful Magic fan.
Yeah, I'm a hometown realist, so I root for the Magic, but, you know, I got to keep everything in perspective. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. I give them a chance to make the play-in, which would be an improvement. So improvements are always good. We'll take that.
Yeah. I think on the show where JDino dropped 81, I said that too. I think the Magic could make the play-in. So, I mean, and obviously depending who they play, you know, it would determine if they make the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
So you think they could make the play-in this year? They've made enough improvements this year. I mean, obviously they get the number one pick last year.
Yeah.
So you go from number one pick to 10th seed, 9th seed. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I think they can do that. That's not really, that's just an improvement. That's not a huge jump. That's not from, you know, worst team in the league to the 10th seed, which is, you know, top 10 in your conference.
Right.
Yeah, that's something that can be done with just the one overall pick.
Yeah, PAOLO Banchero, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a great pick. I mean, I think he could excel them to possibly like 9th or 10th seed and end up playing somebody like maybe in Atlanta in that first round of the play-in, you know, and you get to see a little bit of DeJounte and PAOLO a little more. I mean, obviously they got a little beef going on right now.
Since the Pro-Am. Yeah. So I want to see that. That'll be very interesting to see throughout the season. Because they get to play each other multiple times, 4 times to be exact.
Yeah, in the same
and
division.
If they make it to the play-in versus each other, that'd be great because that'll be for all the marbles.
Right. I mean, they've been going back and forth. I mean, I like the way PAOLO came out, right? And in the first game, dropped 50, right? That was huge. Chet had a huge game as well. But then in this second Pro-Am game, you know, against DeJounte, I think he only dropped 40, which is still huge. You know, it's great to see from your number one pick. He's going out there and he's showing out every single game. But apparently DeJounte doesn't like the way he's been holding himself. He feels like he needs to humble himself. Right, you know, apparently DeJounte says he was a big fan of PAOLO. He wanted him to be the number one pick. He thinks he has a great future ahead of him. But apparently he's lost a lot of respect for him, you know, because of this specific game. Yeah,
he said that he was touting that he was the number one overall pick and stuff like that. They were going back and forth on Instagram. It was kind of a little interesting to see. It's something so I'm looking forward to see if they can continue that rivalry.
Hey, that'd be cool. I like it so far. Obviously, Don't like it from the perspective of Paolo being, you know, disrespectful or anything like that, as DeJounte's saying. But he's got to make a name for himself, and I think that's what he's doing right now. Number 1 pick, coming out, playing good, and doing a little talking. Hopefully, he can continue that going into the season and excel the Magic to a 9th or 10th seed and maybe even make the playoffs. But, you know, doing a lot of talking, now he's got a show, right? Yeah. So that's all it is.
Yeah.
Definitely looking forward to seeing Paolo this season, though. I mean, could he be the Magic's new TMAC? Could he be a TMAC?
I don't think he could be a TMAC. I don't know if he got that level of explosiveness that TMAC had.
Yeah.
I think he'd be very good, though.
I mean, he's strong. That's a big boy. 6'10", 250 plus, right? You want to think, he's going to definitely make his presence known in that paint and love the way that he handles the ball as well. But got to see if he could put it all together and really carry a team.
Yeah, exactly.
But outside of that, not really too much else going on in the NBA outside of, rumors about, where KD might land. I mean, his wish list right now is Philly or Boston. I don't really think Philly's too realistic. They'd have to give up way too much. And I don't think it is. But Boston, there's been a lot of rumors about possibly a Jaylen Brown KD package. I mean, how you feel about that?
That'll be a good spot for him to land, so we can see him and Tatum have that 1-2 combo.
That'd be crazy.
That'll be crazy.
Right. I mean, you would have to think they would dominate the East and probably the league. With that duo, right?
Yeah.
But just the package that they're asking for. I think they said Boston offered Jaylen Brown, Derek White, and some other pieces or picks, and they denied it because they wanted Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, and just a way more of an overpay than
Boston. You don't want to gut your team to win. I mean, unless you're trying to win next season, like that is your number one goal, is to win a championship next season.
Right.
You throw all your chips on the table.
I mean,
LA Rams.
Any team that goes after KD at this point in time, you're paying for a player that's another good 2 or 3 years, you got to think.
Yeah.
And why would you want to give up 5 or 6 years worth of capital?
Yeah.
The only team I could really, see being maybe a dark horse is those Golden State Warriors. There's been little rumors about, him possibly going to Golden State, right? They'd have to give up Wiseman, I think possibly Wiggins or Poole and 3 or 4 of the first 2. But I mean, for a win now team that just won a championship, I mean, he goes back and they instantly are favorites to win again, right?
Exactly. Yeah. He should have never left in the first place. They would have been arguably the greatest team ever assembled. They would have won multiple championships. It would have been hard to argue that another team would have been greater than them.
That's very true. I mean, there's definitely like 2 ways you could look at it. You know what I'm saying? So if he does go back, does it put a stain on his career, because he goes back to a championship team again? Or
individually, it puts a stain on it. But from a team's perspective, like I said, it automatically elevates them into the greatest team ever.
Yeah. I mean, because you got to think, if they won a couple with them, they might win a couple more. What could have they done in those years in between?
Exactly.
They could have won, 7 or 8 straight,
Exactly.
when you think about it. So if they wouldn't have, right?
Right.
But that's the what ifs, the could have, would haves. But outside of that, definitely not too much more going on in the NBA. So we're going to touch it back into the NFL. Obviously, we've brought you on the show plenty of times before. You've told us you're a faithful Jacksonville Jaguars fan. They go into the draft, number 1 pick.
Yeah.
Take Trayvon Walker,
yeah.
right? We got to see the Hall of Fame game with them against the Raiders. I think 27-13, the Raiders won. Doesn't really matter. It was all second teamers, right?
Exactly.
But was there anybody exciting that you got to see in that game?
I wanted to see Trayvon Walker. I wanted to see how he performs, whether he can be disruptive in the passing game. He got a sack. It was just off a regular rush. Nothing too spectacular, but he showed that he could play discipline and let that sack come to him. Yeah, looking forward to seeing him showcase why he was the number 1 overall pick.
Yeah, I like it. Another, player that you guys didn't get to see last year at all. So you're going to actually get to see him this year is Travis Etienne.
Correct. Yeah. I'm ready to see Etienne, him and James Robinson. Maybe they can take some pressure off of Trevor Lawrence. That's the only way that they will be able to succeed in this season. They don't have a lot of weapons. They picked up Christian Kirk.
I like that.
He helps stretch the field.
I think they overpaid for him, but I do think that he could be a valuable piece to their success. So I like the Christian Kirk pickup. I love Travis Etienne, honestly. I'm curious to see what he's going to do with his old teammate, Trevor Lawrence. He's got to be already comfortable, right? They also announced that, James Robinson actually avoided the PUP list. So that's huge because he could start week 1.
Yeah.
So you're right. I like that dual threat that they're going to have in the backfield. Going to be huge. So with that dual threat, and Trevor Lawrence and no Urban Myers anymore, because I think you would have one of the first ones to say that we need to get rid of him.
Exactly.
So no Urban Meyer anymore. They got a couple offensive linemen in free agency, and they bring in Trayvon Walker in the draft. I mean, I think you guys had a very successful offseason. I mean, do you think it translates into possibly contending for that division? I mean, I think the division's wide open.
The division's wide open, but they're the third best team in the division, so we'll curb our enthusiasm for a later date.
I could respect that. I mean, you've definitely always been a very honest Jags fan. I mean, we asked you in the past, if they were going to make the playoffs, and you looked at us crazy. At least you didn't look at us crazy this year. So the only other thing I really want to touch on is, we got the first preseason official games this weekend. You guys, obviously, like I said, played in the Hall of Fame game, but you guys got Cleveland this weekend. So look, you could possibly see some Travis Etienne this weekend, right?
We could,
maybe even a couple snaps from Trevor Lawrence, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, but any other players or teams, games maybe that you might be looking to see in this preseason?
Yeah, I'm interested in seeing Trey Lance to see how long he plays.
Okay.
They've been talking that up in the media. So I want to really see how he plays.
You got to see, how comfortable he is with his offense.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm definitely interested to see some Trey Lance this weekend. I'm sure Jay Money's interested to see it too.
Yeah, he is.
Hey, my man Brian, I definitely know you looking to see him too, Brian. But yeah, definitely speaking of quarterbacks, what about the little battle they got going on in Carolina? That should be interesting. I think they play Washington this weekend. Obviously, they got that whole Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield, Matt Corral battle going on over there. Actually, Steve Smith, a longtime Carolina Panther, he went on record to say that he definitely thinks Matt Corral is their future. He's high praising him, and he thinks that he might even be the best quarterback in that room. I don't see him starting this season. But, I mean, how you feel about that quarterback battle and, maybe seeing them portray some of their talent on this first week of preseason?
Yeah, I'm interested in seeing that. That's going to be very interesting to see who outperforms who rises to the top, as Big J would say.
Right.
You got any other thoughts on that?
I mean, like I said, I've said in past episodes, I think for right now it's Sam Darnold's job, but it's going to be interesting to see if Baker can outplay him in the preseason to start week 1. I'm very interested to see it. But personally, I'm going to be watching my G-Men. We're going to be playing the New England Patriots the first weekend of preseason. Obviously, first round picks, Kayvon Thibodeau. I want to see him get after some quarterbacks in this first game.
Yeah.
Evan Neal. I definitely want to make sure that he's the road grade that Saquon needs. And obviously, I want to see a little bit of Saquon. They're saying he looks impressive in camp. So I want to see some Saquon in the preseason. Not too many snaps. Definitely don't want to get him hurt again.
Exactly. What about Kadarius Toney?
Oh, man, I definitely love Kadarius Toney. Not sure exactly how much you're going to see of him in the first game of preseason, but I'm hoping we see a lot of him this season.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Don't want to get murdered out there in the preseason.
Yeah, don't want that at all. But, let some of these young guys like Wan'Dale Robinson, I'm excited as heck to see him go out there, our second round pick. A lot of people weren't too high on him, but I know my man Jay Money was real high on him, and I'm right there with him, obviously, as a Giants fan. I'm loyal to the soil. G-Men, I'm hoping you made the right pick. He looks like a speedster. He looks like an athlete. Shoot, I'm excited to see the entire Giants draft class. That's what I'm excited to see this weekend. And obviously, I'm excited to see the Giants beat up on those Jags in Week 7. That's for sure.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
We might have to go out there and catch that game, Jay.
Maybe.
All right, but that's all the time we got for today, JM3 Productions. Appreciate you holding down that Kobe corner.
No doubt, bro.
And starting center spot. I mean, kind of held them both down. Appreciate it. And thank you guys for watching. Make sure you check us out at sportjv.com. Support the merch. JDino 407 for savings. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And obviously, if you haven't mashed that button yet, hit that like and subscribe on YouTube. And obviously, as usual, got a quote for you guys from TMAC, just for you, Joey. In order to do great things, you have to take on challenges in your life. Thank you guys for watching.